Rich with Green Rust here. When we left off, we had pulled apart the left front axle on this 44 CCKW project. The hub in pieces, we're going to put that back together. We're also going to rebuild the brakes, pull them apart today, take out the old grease, clean it up, and see if we can make things look brand new again. So I'll show you a few things that are in there that need to be changed, that were done wrong, put back together by whoever did it the wrong way. Okay, so a couple things you'll notice here. These C-clips are right here. There's supposed to be a spring behind there, a washer, and then another washer and a spring. We'll look at that when we get down and take it apart. You can see on this one there is no C-clip. They've just got a little piece of wire holding it on there, which I guess worked, but not the ideal. So spring, you can see lots of old grease, dried grease. So this clip is in place. You can see that. We'll take all that off in a minute. Here is another piece of wire that's holding that one on there. So, and then down here on the anchor pins, so you have a clip washer here that's supposed to be there, and then another piece of wire here holding the brake on. So the problem is, those seem to hold and it worked out okay. And then the problem we worry about is if there's washers back here to push this brake pad away. And if you don't have that, it wears wrong. And as you can see, this one, it seems to be pretty uniform, and then this side pretty uniform as well. So we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll take apart the brakes here and do a cleanup job on all that and rebuild it. So we'll take it from there and see what we find out when we take that thing apart. Okay, so we always use safety glasses and gloves when we're pulling apart things that are 30 years old or anything else. Especially, it's always exciting when you're pulling apart things that haven't been pulled apart for 30 years. So we're going to start here with these little clips that are on here. They do not need to be on here, obviously, so we're going to get them off of there. Garbage. People use whatever they have if they can't find the parts. And getting parts for these CCKWs is not easy. There's a number of parts suppliers here in the U.S., and they are not easy to get them to send you parts to sometimes. So then we'll take these clips off. Those C-clips, and these are hard to find. There are some out there, but they are difficult to find sometimes. So we want to make sure that we save those, carefully tap those off. Try not to lose them, like that one. Okay, so then there's these washers to retain the clip all the way around it. Lots of spider webs, all kinds of bugs found homes in there. Okay, so we have the main spring here, and these are really stiff, not easy to get off. We'll try our luck at it, see what we can find out here. You have your pliers, your brake pliers. They can be miserable. So the one thing we need to do is adjust these brake adjustments, move in so that we can get less pressure on this brake. So we adjust them on the back, take all the pressure off, well, some of the pressure off, and it allows the brakes to come in a little bit closer. We'll try again. Hook over there. It has a right to be miserable. It's been on there for who knows how many years. At least 30. Lots of old grease on there. I'll clean that up later. So that frees these up. Those pins that hold the piston in. I don't want to lose those. And we have down here main clips. Let me get this wire off of there. And then, in theory, these slide right off. But after so many years, it take a little bit to do it. There it goes. So, I don't see any spring on this one, but there is a main spring up there. That's good. There's the one side. Lots of old bugs, things that have lived there for many years. Okay, so that's the first. We'll sandblast that, clean up, and another video will replace this pad because it's obviously worn down to the rivets. Take care of that, clean off the black widow nest, who knows what else, hobo spiders. Okay, the other side that has the actual clip, the book recommends that you get a 3/4 inch wrench to tap it with. So just tap it down, pointing downward, so we can get the wrench in there. If it will. It won't. Put the wrench right across, span it. You can see the gap starting there. That's that part. Don't want to lose those. Okay, so those are pretty valuable. Alright, so then we can work this side off. These are supposed to have a keeper on the back side up here to keep the brake from moving back and forth, and on this one didn't have it. It has a little keeper and a felt washer on it. Doesn't want to come off too bad, of course. Lots of grease, lots of time. You can tell that the axle has leaked grease through the years, which is not, of course, good for the brakes. Sometimes you have to pry on it. Slowly work it out. It's slowly coming off. It's good that it's tight on there. That tells you it's not worn out. So this one actually has the little keeper or spacer back here. So it's supposed to have a little felt washer that goes right in here. This one did not. Oh, no, actually it does, but it's on there. This one, I think it's on there. So, just separated. So I'll have to replace that felt washer. Just keeps it from vibrating loose. So that fits in there like this. And these are of course impossible to find unless you can find someone who has some new old stock parts. So those have to come off. We'll have to degrease the whole thing, clean it up. From here, clean up all those parts, and we'll take off the cylinder, clean it up, see if we can break free the pistons. And then we take off all these bolts here, and then we can disassemble the rest of the hub and get into the brakes and get into the hub where we can check the bearings and everything else inside. So after we clean up all this stuff, we'll come back to it. They're in there in an awkward place, so I soaked these, had these soaking for a couple of weeks, so they came loose fairly easy. This one doesn't even have a washer on it to hold it in place. If you can get this apart after soaking it, you can hone out the inside of that brake cylinder and it'll work just great. I have done one where I could not get it apart, couldn't find a part for it, so I actually had to drill through one side and tap out the other one. Then I could hone the brake cylinder out. And of course the pistons were ruined at that point, so then I had to find new pistons to replace them, which you can find them, but that complicates your life. And then I had to get a machine to fit just the same way. So you can buy a complete piston, but they're very hard to find, and if you find them, they're going to be kind of expensive. So you can go either way. So there's the finished product coming off. See where the brake hose goes in there, and there's the adjustment for bleeding, and then there's the pistons. You can see all kinds of nasty stuff has been living in there. So we'll put that in the solvent tank, see if we can clean it up, and see if we can get it apart. Okay, so to take the rest of this off, these are 9/16. And they've been sitting in some grease for quite some time, so they probably break free pretty easy if you can get the socket on there from all the old grease. So we'll take all these off. This whole vacuum plate will come off. The hard part is degreasing it. We want to get all that grease off of there, and we can sandblast it and repaint it. Okay, so got all those bolts off there. Sometimes the studs come right out, 3 of them here. That's pretty typical. It's no big deal. They just pull out. They just want to come out easier than the nut wants to come off of them, so it won't matter. We'll put them back later. There's a keeper or ring that goes around these. There's all these star washers. This is the original star washers, and there's a bunch of others on here that are not stars, that are replacement. We'll change all those out. Get rid of the old washers. You can see all the grease that's built up in there. So then this just comes right off. You can see it's a little bit greasy, a little bit dirty. Original army green paint on the back. Here's the adjustment screws for the brake shoes.